Finally, winter is coming to an end, and I am so tired of the snow and the cold right now, and I can't wait to jump into spring. And I have a bunch of books I want to read. I was originally trying to keep it at just 10 books, but I was looking at my bookshelves and I was looking at the books that had recently come out and books that were going to be released soon, and I just couldn't have just 10. I needed to have one extra one, so it's 11 books, which is not as satisfying a title. I just couldn't take any of these books away. I had to have them all on. So it's 11 books, and I didn't want to go too crazy because there are a bunch more books I want to read, but I also wanted to be realistic. I know how fast I read, and I know that I'm not the kind of person that can just blow through book after book after book. I think physically I read maybe like 3 or 4 books a month. I thought 11 books would be kind of perfect from April to June if I read about 4 books a month. I also do listen to audiobooks, but that is, I don't listen to audiobooks of books I own physically. And that's also one thing that I want to do in this video. I want to mostly focus on books that I already own physically because I want to get my physical TBR lower, make some progress on that front as well. Without any more dilly-dallying, I guess I'll just jump into number 11. The reason I'm putting this on number 11, I don't own it and I have to wait for my library copy to be ready, and it is Sunrise on the Reaping. I loved the Hunger Games movies when they first came out. I was so obsessed with them. I would literally watch Hunger Games, the original one, to fall asleep. I just put it on the TV and fell asleep to teenagers being murdered, which is kind of weird. It was almost comforting to me. And then I loved all of the movies that came out, and I loved the new one. And then about a year ago, I listened to the original trilogy, and I really enjoyed that as well. So of course I want to read the new one that's coming out, and I'm only hearing great things. I'm hearing super emotional and it's super sad, and everyone wants to know the Haymitch backstory, so I can't wait. I just need to get my library copy, and that's the problem. I don't know, because there's a lot of people in that queue, so I don't even know if I will be able to get it this spring, but hopefully. I'm crossing my fingers. And then at number 10 I have Rose Matter by Stephen King. I have not actually heard very much about it. I think it's kind of goes into the same box as like Gerald's Game and Dolores Claiborne, where you have a female main character who's in an abusive relationship and she has to face that head on and reflect on her situation. But the reason I really want to read this is because I'm doing an extensive Dark Tower read. Dark Tower is like Stephen King's magnum opus. It's a 8-novel long book series, but there are also a bunch of other novels in between that's connected to the Dark Tower, and this is the last one I have left before I can finish the Dark Tower, the actual series. I used this video to get my expansive read, but the reason it's number 10 is just because I haven't really heard much about it, but I really want to. Of course, it's Stephen King. I'm excited. I'm always excited for Stephen King. Number 9 I have Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. I think that's how you pronounce it. I got this for Christmas, and I didn't really know anything about it when I first got it. I thought, okay, this is a beautiful cover, just look at that, but I didn't really know much about the story or the author or anything. Then I watched some more videos and I heard some more things about it, and it really seems up my alley. It's like literary fiction. I'm pretty sure it's very emotional, very sad. I'm just really excited to jump into it, and it's giving like spring summer vibes, and I really want to get into this as soon as possible. And then at number 8 I have Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I've been seeing a lot of more booktubers, at least the ones that I'm following, are reading this now. Been really interested in Jane Austen. I already own 2 other Jane Austen novels along with this one. All of them are used, by the way. So I really have to start reading her bibliography soon. But I'm just seeing a lot more people reading it, and I'm seeing a lot of people enjoy it, and I just really want to read more Jane Austen and more classic romance in general. I think this is a great place to start. I've only heard great things, and I do love a good romance, so I can't wait to jump into this. And then we have a very recent pickup from me, The Hound of the Baskervilles. I found this at a thrift store actually, and I did not know almost anything about this. I had of course heard of the author, and I had of course heard of the novel, and I thought that just the cover was cool, that the name was cool. Okay, I'll pick it up for $3. I did not know that this was a Sherlock Holmes story. I have not read a single Sherlock Holmes story. I don't know if this is a great place to start with Sherlock Holmes, but I have heard that the novel is super great and super interesting, but I know so little about it, and that's really exciting for me because a lot of the novels that I read, you know, I've already heard a bunch of people talk about it, and I've already heard a bunch of opinions, but this one is just, I only know that people like it. I don't know the plot, I don't know anything. I have not read a single other Sherlock Holmes story or another book by Arthur Conan Doyle, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle actually. It's just really exciting, and it isn't long, so it isn't like a big commitment. I can just read it and get a completely fresh perspective and nothing to taint my opinions. Yeah, I'm just really excited about it, if you can't tell. I think this is going to be super great. And then I have another one that I'm really excited about, which I also picked up kind of recently, which is White Nights by Dostoevsky. I did read Crime and Punishment this year, and I did enjoy it, but it was kind of challenging. One that was hard to pick up, but whenever I did pick it up and whenever I was able to get into that state of mind, I did really enjoy it. And I think this one is maybe a little easier, maybe not as complicated for me as Crime and Punishment was, and it's pretty short. It's like in one of these beautiful little black classics, which I was not a fan of to begin with, because I just thought they were very basic, you know, it's just the name of the story and nothing else. I've grown to really like these editions. I think this one became really popular maybe like a year ago or something. I saw a bunch of people reading it then, but I hadn't really started to jump into like Russian literature. But now I'm ready. I just want to read this very badly. This one I have already started, and I got about halfway through it. I just wasn't in the state of mind for this novel at the time. I was afraid I was slowly going into a reading slump. I couldn't focus when I was reading this. But I did enjoy it, and it is Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie. It isn't that I thought the novel was bad or anything, it's just that it's a long time since I read high fantasy, first of all. My mind were drifting to other places, it was kind of hard to focus on it for me at the time. Sometimes it was so exciting and I was so into it, and then other times there was just nothing there that could hold my attention. But now I think I'm slowly coming back up. I'm reading more, and I think I'm going to finish this. I don't want to read it if I'm not enjoying it. I want to wait, and then I can pick it up at a later time and I will actually enjoy it. I think that when I'm ready, this one is going to be perfect for me. Next up is a Norwegian novel, which is weird because I have read very little Norwegian literature, even though I am Norwegian, and I don't own it, but it is a crime thriller which is super popular in Norway. Norwegians love crime thrillers, and this is the first one in a serial series, you know, where it's not like a big plot, but there's like the same characters and some things are overlapping through the novels. And my mom loves this novel as well. It is called Tysteren, or I guess the English translation would be like The Snitcher, or like The Informer, and maybe a better translation. And I know very little about it. I just know that it's a popular crime thriller and my mom loves it, and I just want to try it out, and I think it's going to be really like fast-paced. And if I love it, I have like 10 other books in that series as well. So just trying something new, that's one of my goals this year, trying new things. Next up I have another big Russian author, and it is Leo Tolstoy, and it is The Death of Ivan Ilyich and Other Stories collection by Penguin Classics. I have never read any Tolstoy, but I want to get more into Russian literature, as I mentioned. And I heard somewhere that The Death of Ivan Ilyich is the best place to start. I was originally also going to get a little black classic of this one as well, of just The Death of Ivan Ilyich. I couldn't find it anywhere, and so I went and bought this collection. I ended up getting it for free with like a deal at the bookstore, so great for me. Everyone knows Leo Tolstoy, everyone knows that he's great, and I just want to get into his work and then slowly work my way up to probably War and Peace, which is one I really want to read, but I don't like jump into the long big magnum opus as the first book from an author. I want to get to know their writing style, get to know the author a little bit, and then go into like the big work. So starting with this, I think I'm going to enjoy it a lot, hopefully. And then now we're at number 2. This one is the one I'm currently reading. It is another Stephen King, and it is Holly, which is a recent Stephen King novel. I have to read this because in May, I believe, there's a new Holly novel that's coming out, and I want to be caught up when that releases. So far, so good. I have loved these Holly stories. Some of them are my favorite Stephen Kings of all time, and they're just fast-paced and fun to read. It's not like a typical crime mystery. I love Holly as a character. I know she's kind of controversial. Some people love her, some people are tired of her. But I'm loving it, and I can't wait for the new one, and I just have to get through this one before the next one releases in May. Then at number 1, everyone knows this, everyone wants to read this, but it is intimidating. I actually want to read this in March. It was just kind of scary to pick up. Oh no, I'll read this one, and then I just never got to this, but I am going to read it now. I'll probably have to put off like 3 weeks to read this. It is The Count of Monte Cristo. Everyone has heard of this, and everyone knows that it's great. I've heard just amazing things about this, and it's supposed to be like the best revenge story ever written or ever told, really. I think it's going to be great. Look at that. That is a brick, and I am scared. I love long books, but it's always scary to pick up a new one. I am ready now. I want to get to this. I want to know what people are talking about. I have to know what this story is about, because it's one of those stories that have just stood the test of time so well, I think, and people just love this. I just want to know what Dumas was trying to say, and how he tells this story, and what the story is about, and the characters. I just have to know, and I don't want to wait anymore. So this one is highest priority for me. I really want to get to this as soon as possible, but it is intimidating. I'm not going to lie and say that, oh, this is light work, No, it isn't. This is scary, and it's going to take me a while, but I'm excited. Here they are, all the novels, almost all the novels I want to read. I have these, and then I have 2 I want to loan from the library. You know, I'm trying to experiment a bit more with my reading, try some new genres, try some new authors. Of course, I have like 2 Stephen Kings in here also, which is like almost a comfort author to me. It's my favorite author, and of course I want to read him as well. But trying new things, and hopefully finding a lot of just 5-star reads, novels that I love, and I hope everyone that's... I'm going to put this away now so I don't destroy any more books. Hopefully everyone that watches also finds something great this spring. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.